Hey guys, this is Lilith Evernight. This is just a random, not really random, but this is an art tour. I consider myself most likely a fairy artist, gothic fairy artist, somewhat like that. I don't really know what I would call myself as an artist, but that would probably be how I am when it comes to my style for the most part. So I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of my sketchbook, and I've been writing this story that I was thinking about just reading out, on a live stream just for free and to see if you guys like the story. But if you do want to, I'll probably just read the first chapter on a live stream, and then, just tell me how you like it, and then I'll just probably read the whole book. But anyway, this is just a little like snippets of the graphic novel of it. But the other ones are just random paintings. This is just a random just painting that I did. And this is just, kind of just stickers here that I put. So yeah, this is just a fairy, that I drew, and it has a symbolic meaning. The snakes in her head are kind of like Medusa. She has her third eye open, and you see like the cracks right there. It's like, shattering her brain a little bit. And I forgot what it meant again, but it's been a while since I should have wrote the meaning in the back of the page. But she is a fairy. And it has Crazy Gal. It says like Crazy Gal over there. So yeah, this is just something that I put inside of the graphic novel that I'm attempting to do. I just thought she was pretty cool. But her third eye is open, and it's just a symbolic meaning of like what happens when your third eye opens and how it just makes you feel crazy inside. And but you could see, like, even though she has all these crazy things around her, these snakes are kind of just like wild and everything. She's just standing still, like grounded. She's not really crazy. She just looks crazy on the outside because the snakes outside of her are like a thought, they're her consciousness, a form of her consciousness. So yeah, eventually I'll try to remember what I um tried to describe in that little piece of artwork. So anyway, this is just another random fairy. This is just saying don't throw away the key. This is a part of the graphic novel. This is just a random fairy girl that I drew for the graphic novel. It's not the best piece of artwork, but I just wanted to fill in the blanks. And you see, like, there's like a pathway. So I really think I was channeling. I think I would consider myself also an intuitive artist. I just do art based on my intuition and, get psychic or intuitive messages, if you want to call it. Well, every artist has that. We just don't consider it. These are just like kind of like the baby stages of the graphic novel, but this is the main character, Willow, and I just wrote a whole bunch of poetry right here. It says Malice in Wonderland. The thoughts the thoughts crawl inside of me like billows of smoke. A house of mirrors, illusions from a faint, distant truth, yet so unreal. Those who were first will be last, and those who were last will finish first. And you can see, like, he has tattoos, and this is, I will not let you become me. So this is just about a guy who has a so-called mental illness, and he finds out that he is so much more like deeper than that. That he has a gift, but I'll get more into that in eventually. But you can see like the ink kind of blotted, because I think I was carrying this sketchbook a lot, and I would always carry it in my notebook in my book bag, and then water spilled on it, so like that's why he has like all this damn ink all over it on his face. But yeah, that was just the baby stages of this. I still have to finish this one. But that was his grandfather before he passed away. His grandfather was a shaman. And then this is one of the other characters. This is Alice. Um, yeah, she's one of the bandmates, so that's also a part of the graphic novel. She's like, I'm just not corrupting any system. I'm at my zenith, above corruption. I might I might have set my boyfriend's car on fire, but I'm not the bad guy here. I'm just wanted to kind of add a little storyline to that part, because she's pretty crazy. Like, she's pretty insane, I was giving her, I don't know if you guys know that band, Wendy O. Williams. That was it. There's a band called the Plasmatics, and Wendy O. Williams, she was kind of crazy like that. Maybe I'll do a reading on her. She doesn't really get a lot of, recognition like that. Well, she does, but only to people who are in the underground scene. But anyway, the underground punk scene. And then she's wearing a shirt that says Switchblade Symphony. Man, I would love to do a reading on them too, the girls that were in that band. But yeah, what would I even do? I gotta figure out what would I want to know about them. Anyway, um, so yeah, like some of these drawings were in the baby stages, so of the graphic novel. But yeah, I think eventually I'll read some of the poetry. But if I do decide to read the story on the live stream, then yeah, I'll bring this out again. But yeah, this is one of the main characters. This is Amethyst. She's the girlfriend of Willow, or the ex-girlfriend, actually. And this is her when she was younger. I know it kind of spilled. I don't know, like, what happened, but like I said, the ink, it was like it like a whole bunch of water spilled on my damn graphic novel, and it kind of like made a big blue spot right here. So I tried my best to ink that out or cover that, but whatever. This is Amethyst when she was younger, when they first met. And it says Edward Scissorhands because in the book she was wearing Edward Scissorhands shirt, and that's how they met. That's how she looked. I know this one's not done yet, but this one, once again, the ink. But I kind of liked how the ink kind of spilled all over some of the pages, because this one, I like how it did this one. This one I don't know. This one I don't really care for, but this is they're all the people that I drew from his band. But I never really finished this one. It says, I'm an angel conceived of smokeless fire, Damon conceived of light. Okay. His name is Angel, but his nickname is Cypher. And I didn't even know that I forgot that the character from The Matrix, his name is Cypher too. But anyway, yeah, this is Willow again. He's wearing a Bad Brain shirt, but unfortunately, like, I don't know, maybe I can do something with this. I'm kind of mad how the ink went on his face. So, you know what? I can work with it though. I can probably work with it. I probably put a gas mask on his face. I'll probably do that. Or I'll probably show like this is a period of his life where he was going through these asylums and stuff, like going in and out. And this is him again. This is the main character. Like I said, the ink really did something here. So I don't know. It was the magic of this book. Who knows? Maybe it was. And this is when I took a psychology course in college, and I didn't have a notebook at the time, so I just wrote it in here. But it kind of fits into the story because the book is about psychology as well. And I was just experimenting. Ooh, my foot is asleep. Okay, but like I put, this is one of the other characters. Her name is Lily. She is like an immortal character. She has been around for centuries into this planet. And she has a lot of ancient wisdom and knowledge. But I don't really care for her hair color too much, so I'm gonna probably redo that one. Ooh, okay, sorry. My foot is asleep. So, yeah. It says, some think that these quote unquote stories are just mythology, though it says that we look like the angels but just without wings. We look like the angels but just without wings. These humans are the fallen angels that came back to earth. Now you know why we don't fly. I just had to come up with a storyline, but I thought it was a kind of a cool one. So let's go. This is her again, but this is her from a different decade, like probably like 1950. I still haven't painted that one, but that's her again. This time I will just, you know, probably make her colors a little bit different. And then this is her again, when she's more in the current, stages. This is when she met Willow. She's a time traveler. So it says right here, I went through many journeys in my life, and not once did you dare to walk a mile in my shoes. Yet viewing through the windows of my soul, you still could not see through me. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust, I'll let you rust if you must. These elders among me, yet I was 1,000 years older than they'd ever be, Lily. And then it says, they walk among us. They walked among us, so I kept walking. We are the falling sleep. So yeah, that is her. Like, that means, like, you shouldn't judge a person just because they're younger than you. She's the representation of people who are born with old souls, and they're older than the people who are like, 60 years older than them. Sometimes a 60-year-old person can be younger than a 6-year-old person. A 6-year-old soul can be older than a person who's 80 years old. And like, that was kind of what that was about too, because she's a very ancient soul. Lily is a very ancient soul. And that's why I think I'm an intuitive artist, because I think these messages are about people like me too. So yeah. And then here's Willow again when I transformed him into a little bit more realistic character. And here's a lot of like sacred geometry. This is him when he's really diving into those realms. He's like, thinking that he's crazy, but he really is just pretty much gifted, intuitively gifted. And he used his art and his music to really show the people that, or not show the people, but he used his art to cope with his problems, because he saw all these things that other people couldn't see. And that is him again, but a more realistic version of him that I tried to attempt to do. And this is Lily's like forbidden lover. I still haven't finished him though. This is Brian. And the reason why Lily is in the story is because when Willow decides to leave town because of his abusive home and just not being able to have a successful relationship with Amethyst anymore, he meets Lily. And Lily comes up to him and she shows him more about himself. And she sees who he really is, almost as if she was waiting for him over there. And she goes and takes him to the past of her life so that he can understand that they were pretty much of the same star group. They were the same tribe, and that he wasn't crazy. And there she shows him the story of her past, that she too was going through she was going in mental homes and we're going to cite words. And she was a beautiful woman, so a lot of girls were jealous of her, so they cut off her hair in the psych ward, because this guy pretty much had feelings for her, and they would sneak out and he did music too. This is a very music based story as well. So like, like I wanted to do different generations of like different music of different times and decades. So when she met him, like this was around like 1950. So the music was different back then. And he was like, like kind of like those guys who did rock and roll, like Elvis or something, but like a little bit better, not so commercial. He was a little bit more underground. He was like the typical, somewhat bad boy who rode motorcycles and, but he worked at the asylum and as like a kind of like, not a nurse, but more like a maintenance kind of guy. But I don't know how to explain it. He was like an assistant, like a assistant to the nurses or something like that. And, he saw something in her that he really liked, and he saw how they treated her. And he saw that it wasn't right and that it was corrupt. And the rest of the other women that were in the asylum too, they they saw that there was a connection there. They saw with Brian and Lily that they had a secret connection, but they weren't supposed to be together because they would get in trouble. So like sometimes the girls, they still had like the clothes that they had from home. So, like they dressed her up and everything and they snuck her out one night. And they went to this place and they had this little secret love affair. Not like, where they were having scandals, but in a way where they couldn't be together because he worked for the other side and she was one of their, little prisoners in the asylum, pretty much, quote unquote. Not a prisoner, but you know what I mean. Yeah. So yeah, like that story goes deep between them. Sorry about my nails. I was yeah, anyway. Yeah, I gotta finish drawing him, but that is the thing between Lily and Brian. Yeah, I love that story between them because like it really is kind of sad because like they were separated for so many years, I think. I'm not sure what I'm going to do at the end of it, but this is Angel again. The guy that I had just shown. The guy that I had just shown. This is Out of Sight, Out of Mind. This character was inspired by Morgue Official. If you guys know who he is, you could type him up on YouTube. I already had talked about on my YouTube video how I was inspired by him. How I was inspired by him. He's a sword swallower, and he used to work at Venice Beach, and I really thought this character would be a good representation for that kind of energy that I was going for. And yeah, I love Angel too. He's cool. And this is Amethyst again. This is another version of her. And these people that Willow became friends with, let's just say they're not normal human, but they're not necessarily bad. And Amethyst really does love him. I'll say that. She really does love him even though they're not together when he leaves. But she really realized that she really had feelings for him, and she had to make a choice between letting him go for these people, that wanted to make him feel crazy, or was she gonna go and get him? So that was like, I guess I'm just a person who, I know it's kind of similar to Lily's story, and I think it had to be a little bit because he needed somebody. He never had another friend that could relate to what he was going through. And not even Amethyst could relate to a certain extent. So yeah, she's a good girl though. She's a good girl to him. But, she did kind of make him feel a little betrayed in the story because, it's complicated. But if you guys want to know the story, just let me know. I probably will do it anyway. I'll probably read the first chapter. More than human, more than a woman, more than human. What more could I say? Would it be enough if I lied? Would it be enough if I lied? What would I have gained in the truth? Even though I acted like I did not care, I didn't want him with anyone else. So like that was like the situation currently between them. I don't know. I just, and this is just a girl that I drew from one of my favorite tarot decks that I have. I just thought she was like pretty awesome to draw. But anyway, like this is just a random sketch of Amethyst in Willow again at the beach. The story gets deeper. Some of these stories I haven't drawn yet. I mean, some of these pages I have to finish. And this is Lily once again. This is a poem that I wrote. In this fallen world, I was the only one standing. The irony was that I was a quote unquote demon amongst these Babylonians, drunk on their oblivion. The truth was that ignorance is true. The truth was is that ignorance was truly blissful. Why not dance? Why not dance along? No, I could not. A girl like me could not be a Queen Nebuchadnezzar because I am the stories of the ones you hid. So powerful I am that it moved the heavens above. Your fear turned hidden into rage and corrupt, for I only became the woman I woke up to. You took our magic and called it black, burned our women to the bone at the stake for God's sake, stoned me like Magdalene, then took her knowledge and burned them too, you say. I am the lily of the valley, keep watching. We are the watchmen, resurrected, no longer dead asleep. Yeah, so that was just what she was going through, her story and her background. She's a very spiritual woman, clearly. And this is Willow when he's on stage with his band. I haven't finished drawing this one yet, but I will. And this says, sometimes I just want to punch people in the fucking face. Sorry, I was really mad when I wrote that. And I had to channel in some energy for Willow. They make me forget that I am just like them. Human, you could say the least. I remember when I was on stage singing a favorite song that I wrote, Hive Mind, feeling as if the whole world could hear me. And this is one of his teachers when he was younger. And she was a very crazy woman. I know. She was a particular being. Let's just say that in the beginning of the story. So is that it? And these are some butterflies that I put to represent metamorphosis, and I was gonna draw some other scenes, but yeah, this is also Alice once again, the one with the green hair that I showed. But yeah, like if you guys are interested in that story, just let me know. And there's I'm probably still gonna do it anyway. I'm probably still gonna read the first chapter on the live stream. Or if I just read the chapter, I probably won't read it in the live stream, but yeah. And here's my art tour. This is just a painting that I have to finish. Like I said, I am a fairy artist, so let me know if you guys are very interested in, I am selling some art. I just don't know if people would love to buy it, but I'm not, the type to make it super impossible to, buy it. But anyway, this is just one of my fairies as well. I do a lot of fairy art, so fairies, I'm very in love with fairies. Oh yeah, this one's not done, so that's just like Hecate. But I'll probably redo a Hecate painting. This is just another. I think this was Lily too. Some of these characters I decided to do paintings of. So this is her as well. This is just another version of her. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do dress for her, But yeah, that's her as well. And then this is just a random painting. Yeah. And this is like a dancer ballerina in a forest. Yep. And this is a ship that I painted. And this is an alien that I painted because, oh my god, I don't know if I should talk about the story of when I used to do psychedelics and I met ETs. I got in contact with them. So this is why I did that painting, because this is what they look like. They opened a portal above my ceiling and just greeted me pretty much. They knew that I wanted to see them. They say sometimes when you see them that is your star family. That's your star family contacting you. So this is Alice once again. So yeah, like I was just thinking about selling my paintings. So if anybody likes fairies, just hit me up, I guess. Yeah, and this is another fairy. I was just very inspired that day about I got really inspired by one of my favorite fairy artists, Amy Brown, which I bought her tarot deck, which I am probably going to use for my divine feminine readings as well, and just readings in general. But I want to redo this one, but I just want to do her because I really love her. I love all my fairies, but she really draws to me. But yeah, I just wanted to show you a little bit of that story, and it's also an art tour. I wanted to show you my art tour once again, and just let me know if you guys are interested in seeing more of my art. All right, thanks.